Hi, good evening, everyone. This is JP Tong. I'm now in Kechara Forest Retreat, Malaysia. I'm in my room, my personal room right now. And welcome to the fourth week of Thursday Paranormal Tales. I'll wait for a few seconds for everyone to tune in, and then I will start sharing. So, how is everyone doing tonight? Hi, good evening, everyone. This is JP Tong. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn off the volume on my tablet. So we'll wait for a few more minutes, and I will continue sharing about my personal experience with paranormal activities. Yeah. Hi, Christina. You made it this week. You made it this week. Well done. You won't be scared, yeah? I hope not. Then you might not be able to wake up tomorrow morning for the meditation. Hi, Pastor Hani. Hi, Cotluan. Hello. Yes, we'll wait for a few seconds. Oh, you love it? Oh, good, good, good. Because some people cannot sleep after they listen to my stories. Yeah, you will. Today, I've added a bit of some scary music. So if you hear from a distance some kind of a music, creepy music, yes, it's to give it that, that feel. Hi, good evening, good David. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll wait for a few more seconds for everyone to tune in, and then I will start. I will continue with my stories. And for those of you who missed my stories for the last 3 weeks, do go back and listen to it, because I would have shared with you how my first experience was in school, and then after that when I was traveling after I graduated, and then last week I spoke about how it all began. How I went into energy healing, which was very popular and it's still very popular. And then from there, what I did with the spirits, and it just became, I had more and more encounters as a result of my energy healing. And then, thank goodness, I met Rinpoche midway, and Rinpoche explained to me how dangerous it was, for me to connect with the spirit realm. And I also said that it's just like opening your the doors to your home wide open, and anything can just come in, whether they are benevolent ones or malevolent ones. All the spirits come in. So, and my teacher Rinpoche would say that it was actually very dangerous, and if the ones with bad intentions come through the portal, that's where they start attacking me. Yeah, so it was yeah, and at that time, as I said, I was, I didn't really, I was very new in the scene, and I didn't know about Buddhism and all that, and I said, that I'm doing well because my energy healing teacher told me that I'm doing God's work, and that was my gift. So I was a bit half-hearted. Then anyway, watch what I said last week, and then you will catch up. Oh, let me see who's here. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Chong, Jerry. Thank you so much. Hi, Tamubi. Oh, a lot of the people who meditate with me are with me tonight. Thank you very much for your support. Hi, Sweet Kyung, Sharon. Pastor Kok Yek Yi. Hi, Yek Yi. Pastor Yek Yi is our head pastor in Kechara House, and she also has a lot of experience when she does the prayers outside. But she shares with us in Chinese. So if you understand Chinese as well, tune in to her sharing. Okay, I think we will start. So where I left off last week was, about, I think somebody asked me, Lily asked me, whether or not, we can offer candles to spirits. Well, you don't. You offer to your altar, whichever faith it is, and you receive blessings from there, and then you can dedicate the prayers to the spirit, and that will be very good. Okay, so let me continue. Where was I? Okay, so I said that Rinpoche closed all my chakras, and basically cleanse all the meridians, because there are 7 orifices that spirits can enter. 7. Okay, here, mouth, and the secret organ, and the ring finger, left and right. There's a teeny hole there that spirits can enter. So Rinpoche did a tantric ritual on me. It's called a Vajra Yogini Gakko, and Rinpoche cleansed all my meridians, and invited the entourage of Vajra Yogini to reside in every part of my meridian. Is it meridian? Yeah, my meridian points. And to guard and protect me against other spirits who are entering. You see, don't be afraid, because if you've never had experiences, it only means that you don't have the karma, and it's fine. It's fine. So if you have the karma, then anywhere you go, you will experience, hear, smell, see, feel, all that. You will definitely feel, you'll definitely sense the beings around. Yeah. So then after Rinpoche sealed all that, then even after that, I was also seeing spirits once in a blue moon. And there was one very interesting and exciting one that I saw, and it was like many months, even like a year later, and that's where I've joined Kechara full time. And there was one night, at that time I was still staying in my parents' house, and there was a spirit coming towards me. And at that time, Rinpoche already gave me a picture of white umbrella, Dukar, which is the deity here in green. She's not green, it's just that it's been printed in this funky color, like Andy Warhol style. So, yeah, but she's not like that. So Rinpoche gave me a poster of the traditional painting of white umbrella, or called Dukar or Sita Tapatre, and she actually protects us from 60 classes of spirits. So Rinpoche gave me the practice and said, put this in your room. So I did. So I put it in my room where I used to stay with my parents, and Rinpoche told me, next time, I should do my prayers every day to invoke the blessings for protection, and also to purify the karma that I have with these spirits who tend to like to gravitate towards me. Yeah, and Rinpoche said, well, one day he will tell me why, but it's not the time yet. But I never found out why. So anyway, so what was exciting was one night, again, I was woken up by this spirit that entered. You see, they don't interrupt me or disturb me. It's just that when I'm in my deep sleep, all of a sudden, if my eyes just open up for no reason, I know there's something there. I can't explain it, but somehow the body just, my eyes just pop open. And there was a spirit right at the end of my bed, just standing there. So what I did was I immediately, I was very excited because for the longest time I didn't see any spirits. And after Rinpoche gave me that practice and told me how to visualize it, and the next time when I see a spirit, what visualizations to do. And it's usually about invoking the blessings of Dukar and visualizing Dukar in the size of our thumb. sitting on our crown chakra, and then billions of the holy Dukar going out towards the spirit being and blessing the being. So for the longest time, I didn't see spirits, so I never got to do that. So I finally got to see one in my room, and I gave it a try, of course. So I recited Dukar's mantra, Om Sthirata Patre Hompet, Om Sthirata Patre Hompet. I was in my bed, and my altar was on my left, and the spirit was right there at the end of my bed. So I recited the mantra to Dukar, and as soon as you see, because we are told that after you recite a few times, you blow the holy mantra towards the being, and you visualize Dukar come, on your head, blessing it. So as I blew the mantra on the being, and before I could even visualize anything, all of a sudden, it was like in the movies, I saw from the poster of, the Dukar poster that's framed on my altar, a black smoke came out like that. Just like in the movies, okay? A black smoke came out, and then all of a sudden it went like that. And I could see arms, just like smoke, dark smoke like that, and there were arms going like this. And I saw a being there, and it was as though it was looking at the spirit. And I couldn't see, I could not believe my eyes, because it came from the Dukar poster that Rinpoche gave me. My initial instinct was, oh my God, that's Dukar. And then my mind kicked in and said, but why is it black color? I thought Buddhas are gold and beautiful and white. So I was just watching, I was like, what is it? But it was amazing because it was a black smoke with many, many arms going up and down like this. And next thing I knew, if you have seen this movie called Edward Scissorhands, she went like that to the spirit. And the spirit, I think it was a dark silhouette of a being there. And by the time Dukar went like this, like cutting it up, it just vanished. And as soon as it vanished, like I could see it in pieces, just like in the movies. It was amazing. Well, I guess that's where people get inspiration from, from their personal experience. So I saw how she was just cutting him up, and then once it was gone, she went into this cloud, and she went back into the poster. I was so fascinated that this was happening in front of my eyes. So I was like, wow. I was like, was that really Dukar, or was it something else? So I said, okay, I got to ask my teacher, Tam Rinpoche. So the following day, when I went back to work, I did. I told Rinpoche exactly what I saw and exactly what happened. And Rinpoche said, and Rinpoche asked me, so what do you think? I said, well, initially, the first thought that came to my mind is Dukar. But then I started questioning. I was like, but why is Dukar in black? And Rinpoche said, whoever told you Dukar cannot be in black? I said, but I thought Buddhas are, gold and shimmering and all beautiful and white and all that, because they're holy beings. And Rinpoche said, that is my expectation of how a Buddha should and should not look like. That's my projection, that's my expectation. Rinpoche said that Buddhas can come in any color, any form, any shape. So I said, oh, amazing. So Rinpoche said that, well, now that you have seen Dukar and how she has helped you, you can share that with people. Oh, I said, okay, because I was questioning myself whether or not what I saw was a holy being. Yeah, because in our Buddhist belief, we are always taught to question ourselves when we see holy beings. Because why? because because spirits, there are very powerful spirits out there that can appear before us as holy beings. Yeah, they can trick us to that. And then they will actually teach us what to do, practice compassion, do all the things that holy beings teach us to do. And whatever that they teach us, they can also, and it's usually to help others to heal. And it's almost like we have psychic powers all of a sudden. It does happen. It does happen. And but you see, but the catch is this: when our negative karma arises, when the opportunity comes, that's where they get us. That's where they harm us. Okay? Why I can say that is this: because the person who taught me the energy healing, my energy healing teacher, her teacher is a world-renowned energy healer, and from abroad, and she has she's written many books. And I think I told you last week or two weeks ago, I said that my teacher and her teacher, this energy healer, 1 year became very, very burned out. And they said, they were so burned out with seeing people and healing people all the time that they just needed a break. So I told Rinpoche this, and Rinpoche said, that doesn't sound right. Because why? If we are doing things out of compassion to heal others with compassion, we will never be burnt out. We will never feel that we want to take a break from helping people, because it will motivate us to do more, like Mother Teresa, like Gandhi, people who operate from pure love. Okay, different faiths call it different, call it differently. The God spark for Christians, for Buddhists, we call it the Buddha nature in us, or bodhicitta, where you have unconditional love and kindness. So when you operate from that motivation, you should never get burnt out, and you should never feel tired. You may physically be tired, but mentally and emotionally, it will motivate you to even want to help more people. So I was like, yeah, that's true. So anyway, so a year later, because they stopped helping people for 1 whole year because they felt so drained, and they couldn't get themselves out of that situation, no matter how much they meditated and no matter what they did, because in energy healing, you're taught to communicate with your guardian angels and your ascended masters. They call them ascended masters. So whomever they are, based on your karma. And so 1 year plus later, we received a request from my energy healing teacher and her teacher, and they want to have a private audience with Rinpoche, with Ten Rinpoche. So it was a closed door audience, because she is world renowned. So she came with a few other very very famous healers in Malaysia. There was a gang of them. So they came, and as soon as the Grand Master, I call her, the Grand Master, as soon as she sat down, Rinpoche greeted her very nicely and said, "Don't tell me anything." And immediately Rinpoche says, "You have been seeing 2 red eyes recently, is that right?" And the Grand Master said, "Yes." And Rinpoche said, "This pair of red eyes initially manifested itself as something else. It's only recently that you're seeing this." And she said, "Yes." And she nodded. And she said that this being has tried on several occasions to push you. It's not a nudge. It's a push, as though he wants you to die. And she nodded, and she was there was some fear You could see some fear in her. And it's the first time that I see her having some sort of a fear because, she is a big deal in the energy healing world. And Rinpoche said, don't worry, I will help you. And Rinpoche turned to me and Rinpoche, you see what I mean, JP? That's what I mean. Because why? All these years, when holy beings appear in front of us, we do not have the skill to actually cross-check and confirm whether or not they are actually holy beings appearing before us. We cannot check. So even though they can trick us and guide us all these years, you see, because this Grandmaster has been doing this for more than a decade, and she has healed people, and she's so well renowned, and she's written so many books, and she has so many followers, and and it works because I have actually followed her practice, and I've seen how it actually heals people, and I could actually pick up the illnesses that another person may have, and I may not have even met this person, but I could actually just meditate from afar and zoom in. There are skills that she teach where you can zoom in from afar and immediately you can pick up what is wrong with the person health-wise and even mentally. Yeah? So, and it works. And all this was taught by the Ascended Masters, you see? So, Rinpoche said, yeah, and then she did say, many times she fell because she felt a pair of hands pushing her down the stairs, pushing her, when she's walking in her house, and she knew it was this being, and that was why she was so scared that she stopped healing people for 1 year, because she used to travel worldwide to give talks and give seminars and share with people how to heal. So she stopped completely. So what Rinpoche did was, Rinpoche said, don't worry, you can still do your healing, but instead of invoking the so-called Ascended Masters to come and help you heal, you invoke an enlightened being. It's the same, because this is a genuine enlightened being, is a holy being, and it's been invoked by Buddhist masters, world-renowned Buddhist masters, to heal and protect others. So you can do that. And Rinpoche gave her this practice to do. And she has done it ever since. Yeah, so that is why when I come across friends who are doing all this energy healing, I will tell them, better not, because especially when you want to connect with so-called Ascended Masters or angels, like somehow of us love to do tarot card readings. I did that too. That itself is a portal to the spirit realm. Yeah, so you may think you are connecting to angels, but most likely you're connecting to spirits in the form of angels. And a lot of times the answers, whatever questions you may have, it's very accurate. It's very, very accurate. Yeah? And also like Ouija boards, I loved to play with Ouija boards when I was a kid. Loved it. I was so crazy about it. I played it every day in school. Yeah. When I was in Malaysia in primary school, can you beat it? So I played with because I went to an international school locally, and I played with all the foreign students there, and we became so addicted to it, we actually went to each other's house to play. It was, yeah. And in hindsight, we were playing with fire, We were playing with fire. I think maybe my affinity started there because of the Ouija board. Yeah, so if you are playing with Ouija boards now, if you're playing with tarot cards, stop. Because why? Again, it's a way to open up that portal towards the spirit realm. Talking about, yeah?
Even like divining dice, if you don't know what you're divining, things like that.
Oh, like those pendulums?
Yeah.
You know, like how you do like dowsing, the pendulums. Same thing, because why? Because if you see, there are different ways of dowsing, and there's some methods whereby you get to invoke your guardian angels or whatever to help you use the pendulum to douse. So you have to be careful. As long as you are asked to connect with some other being out there, don't do that. Okay. Before I continue, let me see if there are any questions. Hi, Kirsten. Hi, Pastor Shin. Waiting. Dukar comes to protect. Amazing. Yes, that's why I love Dukar. Yes, she's my guardian angel. Really, that's yes, she is. Buddhas do not destroy beings. Why did Dukar slice the spirit up? I have no idea. Maybe it was it had bad intentions, perhaps. Maybe, because I saw that after Dukar sliced it up, it actually she like kind of like absorbed it and went back to the poster. So I think somehow Dukar stopped the being from doing any harm. Yeah, and then took it with her somewhere. I have no idea where. And Rinpoche did not explain further. And we said, well, you see, there you go. You've been protected by Dukar. Protected by Dukar. I think that was the key there. Yeah. Yes. No questions. Okay, good. So I shall continue. So I remember first year uni. I remember playing Ouija board because it was Halloween. And I'm just backtracking a bit because we're talking about Ouija boards here. So I remember playing, and it's not about using that little round token where you put your hand, because we didn't have a Ouija board. So what we did was, we just had letters. We just wrote letters and we cut it to little pieces, and then yes, no, and then a home. That's how you do it. Then I got everyone to just get a drinking glass, just put it on the table. So it was Halloween. So of course, Americans, because I went to school in the States, so all the American kids were like, yay, let's play Ouija board, and let's turn off all the lights and just have one candle there. To make it more spooky. So there were like 5 or 6 of us there in the room, and it was our freshman year in college. And I told them, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, do not remove your finger from the glass. Don't. And that was always taught to me, by... Who taught me that to play? Oh, it was my domestic helper. It was my maid. She... Because I was so bored at home, so she taught me this, and I was so happy that she taught me this, and I played with her every day. And then after that, I extended to my friends. So I played, and you see, this was a bit scary. So we were asking a lot of questions, and the glass, it was crazy, because all we did was, it's like, this is the glass. Here, my Mozzie guard here. This is a glass, and it's upside down. Okay, so all our fingers like this. You don't even like push it. You don't like rest on it. You just barely touch it, and that's it. And the glass was moving round and round and round, and like answering questions. Like spelling and like answering all our questions. And what was spooky was, my friends like, ooh, it's like, I don't believe it. So one of you must be like pushing. And we were like, nope, look. Barely touching, barely, all right? And it was moving around like crazy. So we said, okay, fine. So we said, okay, you don't believe? Fine. Let's ask where the spirit is. I mean, at first we asked what's your name? And the spirit gave us a name. I remember it was a male spirit. So I said, where are you? And it said, outside. It's spelled outside. Everyone was like, "Wah!" Everyone was like freaking out. And then we said, okay, come inside. Look, can you come inside? Crazy, right? Okay, we invite you to come inside. Then he went, okay. And then we was like, oh, everybody's like looking around and looking around. It's like, we don't see anything, right? So we said, if you are here in this room, blow off the candle. And there was a candle like right there, okay? It's like, blow off the candle. And I looked at him and was like, are you sure? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, the room was just dead silent. And next thing you know, within a few seconds, the flame got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And before it was snuffed out, everybody screamed and ran out of the room. And there I was with my finger because like, wait a minute, come back. Because you're not supposed to put you're not supposed to remove the finger, because it is said that if you remove the finger, the spirit will actually stay with us. So I was freaking out, and I was like getting yelling at my friends like, come back now. I was so worried. I was so worried, and everybody was like a chicken, and they just just sped away. And true enough, that flame was snuffed out. It was freaky, totally freaky. So after like 5-10 minutes, I was there like in the room by myself, and I said, go back home, because you're supposed to tell the spirit to go back home. And the glass didn't move. So I was like, oh no, what have I done? So my friends came back into the room and they said, is everything okay? I said, no, because you guys are supposed to send the spirit home. You're not supposed to leave. So at the end of the day, so they did. I think the majority of them left because they were so scared. There was like only 2 or 3 of us who came back and said, come on, you got to send it back. Otherwise, it will stay with us and it will haunt us, and I don't think we want that. So we did. And it refused to leave. We said, please go home. And it said, no. Whew. So that was scary. So we had to keep going until we said, okay, please, this is like the last 3, please go home already. Please go home, please. And finally it did. And that was the last time I played with Ouija boards. Last time. Okay? And Rinpoche said it was actually crazy of us to do that. Because why? Because, well, the spirit can follow us and haunt us for the rest of our life if we're not careful. So never ever play with Ouija boards. Never. Even tarot cards, don't. Even though it's like holy beings and angels, don't. Because most likely we are not connecting with them. We are not. Okay? Do you have questions?
Yep.
Hi Norman. Thank you for tuning in again. I have so many people from our morning meditation. So glad to see you guys here. Sophie, is it? Elsie.
Yeah.
Where?
If we use dowsing tools without asking the spirits, is it okay?
If we use dowsing tools without asking the spirits, I guess it is okay. I guess, but you know what? I'd rather not. Because just in case, I'd rather not. Sophie. I played with the Ouija board too during my teens, and the answers are really so accurate. We connected with the spirits from the Cromwell period. Really scary though. Yes. They are very accurate because, they do exist. And they will be able to tell you a lot of things. So, yeah, so better not. Sophie continues, in the previous episodes you mentioned about sending the spirits into the white light. Did any of them ever come back? No, none of them came back, actually. Every time a spirit comes and visits me, it's a different spirit. They're all different. I've never had recurring spirits except for Qingming, where the spirit entered my dream for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks, I couldn't sleep before Qingming. That was the only time that they kept coming back. But otherwise, nope, they were all different spirits. Yeah? So that's my experience with Ouija boards. What else? Let me think. Oh, and with yeah, so I was saying that if so, Rinpoche actually closed, like closed my chakras so that and my orifices so that spirits couldn't enter me, and possess me. The thing's called half possession, whereby they enter your body and then they will appear in your dreams, or you will hear or have thoughts. Yeah, they're not your thoughts, and they're not, and yeah, and some people they say that you hear voices. They can do that. It's called a half possession. So you're fully awake, but they will tell you things in forms of thoughts and voices. So it's very dangerous. And if we don't do anything about it, it will eventually develop into a full possession. A full possession, and that's where they totally take over your body, and you are not conscious at all, and that's where the full possession comes in. So that's why I never ever meddle with spirits, never. And talking about angels, I remember before Rinpoche closed my chakras, and I was, this is like at the height of my energy healing experience. I remember December time, it was the month of Christmas. And very strange because a month or two before that, the Grand Master, the energy healer, came to visit, and I would go to my energy healer's house. I was one of the privileged few who could have a personal audience with the Grand Master. So yeah, so I remember that when she came to my energy healing teacher's house in her sitting area, before the Grand Master came, there was a sudden surge of energy. It was strange. All of a sudden, you just feel like very energized. And I looked at my energy healing teacher, and she said, "Yep, that's her. She's on the way." And every time before she comes, she will cleanse. She will call in the light, and she will cleanse the house. She does that, and it's strange because we both locked eyes, and at the same time when we felt that sudden surge of energy. And when the Grand Master came, it was strange because she sat across from me in the sofa area, and all of a sudden, the room was like very misty. I thought it was my contact lens because I was like squinting. I was like, it's like, God, what a bad timing to have, like foggy contact lens. What a bad time, because I couldn't really see her. It was exceptionally foggy and misty in the room. I was like, what a bad timing. And then she said, "Oh," I was like, because she's very cheery and like very happy. And she's like, "Oh, there's so many angels in this room all of a sudden." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, okay." So there are angels, because it was just very active, just a lot of mist in between us. And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness." I was like, "Oh, I thought it was my contact lens, fogging up." So that was my first experience. I didn't see it, but I could just see a lot of like fluttering, just a lot of like mist fluttering around. And then, December came 2 months later, and I remember again in my bedroom in my parents' house, I was woken up by some fluttering noises in my ceiling, because in my bedroom there I have like a double volume ceiling, and and because I live near right next to the jungle, and I thought, oh, maybe a bird or a bat, because we always have bats come into the house. Oh no, because maybe a bat came in, because I heard fluttering going around my ceiling. And as I opened my eyes, I saw birds going round, circling, going round and round and round and round. I was like, oh man, how did these bats or birds came into my room. It must be my domestic helpers who open the, because my mom told them, open JP's windows to air out his room because he keeps saying that he sees a lot of spirits. So the Chinese always believe that you open your windows, let the sunlight come in, let the fresh air come in, and kind of get rid of all that stale energy. And I keep telling my mom, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. At my headboard, I have like a pile of handkerchief. Okay, these are like protection. There's like a seal. It's like blessed from a Taoist temple, and it's supposed to protect me. I tell my mom, I don't know. Somehow it's not working. And every year she would get my aunt from Bidor to come. It's a place in another state, to come and give us that protection in a form. It's a handkerchief, and the oracle will take trance off that deity and just put a seal to bless it, and it's a form of protection. It didn't help. All right, I guess my karma was ripened at that time, so all this protection just didn't help. And I even have my Catholic aunt who gave me, it was from Lourdes, Lourdes, the famous Lourdes where they have visions of Mother Mary. So she gave me a bottle, and I had it on my altar. Didn't help. So you see how strong my karma is with spirits. So yeah, so then I took a good look because I was, like this, I was looking up. And I was like, how am I going to get the birds to stop flying and get out? Because I don't want it to shit on me, you see. So I looked, I was like, God, and then it looked like there were like at least 30, 40 birds flapping around, going in circles. And I was like, okay, maybe I should open the windows and hopefully they'll fly out. And next thing I knew, because I was just staring at it, just like figuring out what to do, I was like, wait a minute, what? They're like birds, they're like doves. Why are they doves? How did it get into my room? Strange, right? Then all of a sudden, one dove stopped flying. And it went like this. And I was dumbfounded because it was literally like in the books. It was an angel. Can you imagine an angel? There was this guy, topless, okay, with doves' wings like that, and I could remember it was white, with like orangey, grayish, and black feathers. Quite patchy. And it went like that, and it smiled at me. I was like, holy. And then there were a few around him that actually stopped and looked at me as well. And I could see clearly the angel. And I was so fascinated. I was like, wow. And it was December. It was close to Christmas time. And I always remember my energy healing teacher said that during Christmas, when it's near to Christmas time, for some reason, they will always see angels going around. Okay, so I did ask Rinpoche. I told Rinpoche that I've seen angels, and he was like, "Okay, really? All right." And I was like, "Are they really angels?" And Rinpoche says, "Well, there are many, many types of spirits out there, and nature spirits, elementals, and so on and so forth. So they do exist." But whether or not the angel you see is a holy being, that we don't know. Okay? So as long as the thing didn't harm you or do anything to you, then just leave it at that. So I did. I left it at that. Okay? And then a week later, again, in my room, I was woken up by a lot of flapping around. I was like, oh no. I was like, it's like they're back. But then when I opened my eyes, they were not size of birds. They were like insects, size of insects, flapping around, fluttering around my room. And there were like thousands and thousands of them flapping around. I was like, oh, and then again, I was like, oh no. Some insects came into my room. So what should I do? So I just laid in bed, just looking at it, and looking at it. And next thing I knew, I realized they weren't insects. Guess what they were? Guess. Anybody can type fast? No, nobody can type fast. Okay, I'll tell you. They were fairies. Can you imagine fairies? It's exactly what you see in the cartoons. Fairies, they look exactly like that. So this pretty like, like those Disney fairies. I swear they look just like that. Okay, with teeny weeny wings flapping around, just like insects. And there's this lady, just like in the Disney movies. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was, just in Disney that they exist, but no. So Rinpoche said, yes, they do. These are, what do you call it? Elementals? Is that what it's called? Yeah, these are elementals, like nature spirits. They do exist. Rinpoche said they do exist. That is why sometimes when we go into forests and into jungles, you will feel normal spirits because it's a different energy. It's a very low, dark energy, and there are some and very depressing energy and very lonely energy, and there are some that's very uplifting, and those are actually nature spirits, and they reside in forests. So that's why when we destroy forests and jungles, they get very upset. They want to attack us. They will just leave. And you will see that you don't feel like you won't feel a tingling sensation. You won't feel very refreshed when you're in the forest because nearby there was deforestation and they have left the place. Okay, and that's what happens. Because how I know is because when I was in the States a few years ago with Rinpoche, and we drove all the way to Willow Creek. Willow Creek is the mecca of Bigfoot, because many decades ago, there have been a lot of sightings, and Willow Creek is famous. It's like the mecca for Bigfoot. And as we were driving towards Willow Creek, Rinpoche before Rinpoche said anything, I felt as we were driving up the mountains, all of a sudden there was like a sudden surge of energy, and I was just like tingling all over and very happy. And for some reason I said, "Oh, Rinpoche, have we arrived at Willow Creek?" And Rinpoche said, "Yes, we have. We just arrived." It was like a boundary for some reason. And I was like, "Oh, it's strange, Rinpoche." You can see I'm very vocal. You see, I was like, "Strange, Rinpoche. No wonder I feel this sudden surge of energy." And Rinpoche said, "You're right. And tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me what you feel." I said, "There are some beings in the forest as we're driving, and I don't know what they are. It's very happy, very blissful, and what do you think, JP?" So I focused on the feeling. I focused out to the forest, and the first thing that came to my mind was there were nature spirits. And yes, there are these elementals that reside here. You see, when the forests are not disturbed, all these nature spirits, these are good spirits, they will come out and they will reside and they will coexist in harmony with us as long as we don't destroy the environment. And that's why you feel very energized, very, very energized. Yeah, so that's my experience with these beings. And again, with Christmas, I went to my friend's place. She's Christian, and we were talking, and then her son was at her lap. Her son was at her lap, just like, just like laying there, just listening to us talk. And all of a sudden, I saw another being next to her son. It was a little baby. There was a little baby spirit next to my friend's son, and it had tiny little wings on his back. And I couldn't believe what I saw again. And and of course, you know what I'm talking about. It was how do you say it? A cherub? 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 A fat baby angel. Just like in the books and in the movies. Cherubs? I think they're called cherubs. Yeah. And it was just doing this. And I told my friend, I said, don't move. Because, I always tell them I see things. And I said, don't move. There's a cherub stroking your baby. I mean, he was like, what, 2 or 3 years old? And I think he's going to fall asleep. And next thing you know, the baby fell asleep. I mean, talk about coincidence, right? So I knew that I was not imagining, because I knew that I saw the cherub just stroking, just going like this to the baby. And it was like almost magical, and the baby just like conked out. Isn't it amazing? What is this? Sharon says, yes, they look like Tinkerbell, exactly. So cute. And there were a lot of them. And yeah, pixies. Yep. So they do exist. They do exist. What else?
There's a question from Jerry.
Where? From Jerry?
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, yes. How do you tell if they are... Jerry asks, how do you tell if they are different because they are all in black silhouette or translucent? You have to trust your feeling. A lot of times when there is a being in front of you, without even looking at it, you know there's something there. It is that feeling, you just know it. Remember how I said that, sometimes you're working and then somebody's behind you and you just know it, and you turn around and it's like, hey, what's up? It's just that feeling, which I don't know how to explain to you. So if you've had that feeling before, that feeling comes from the gut and you just know there's something there. So same thing, that same feeling, you can actually tell whether the spirit is, is a good spirit or an evil one. Evil as in with bad intentions, or is it a peaceful one? And you can also tell whether it is a male or a female, or it is an animal, or it is neutral. Yeah, there's some spirits that are neither male or female, they're just a being. And you cannot tell. So you just know without seeing. Without seeing. Yeah, I hope that explains.
Question
From Ron. Yes, hi Ron. What about all those Taoist mediums that get possessed and give out lottery numbers or do special acts, etc.? Are those spirits too? Well, I don't know. You see, because in the Buddhist faith, we study about the different realms of our existence. Yeah, we have the human realm, and then we have the demigod realm. God, not in the Christian sense of God, the creator, but like deity. So we have the demigods, the demi-deities, and then we have the worldly gods. Okay, again, not the Christian God as a creator. No. Okay, and these are very powerful deities. All right, and in those upper two realms, that's where the Taoist deities reside. That's where we believe, because in those realms they will be psychic, they will have supernatural powers, they have healing powers, and so on and so forth. And in those realms, they can give us 4D. Like those Datuk Kongs, those local deities of that land. There are people that actually go there with papers. They put 1 to 0, then they shake it, and whatever falls out, That's it. Yeah, and they do have psychic powers, and they can actually let you win. But you have to be careful though. Okay, I will explain further. So going back to your oracles, yes. Well, maybe they actually take trance of these deities, But you know what? They are not enlightened. They are not enlightened. They are born in those realms, and they can actually enter. So they are the formless realms. Then of course, then after that, so we have the human realm, we have the demigods and the worldly gods, and then below the human realm is the animal realm, then the spirit realm, and the hell realm. So in the Buddhist faith, we study all these 6 realms. We don't pray to them, but we understand their realms so that we can coexist with them, harmoniously. And for the lower realms, we can actually help them get out of the lower realms, because in the lower realms, it's 24/7 suffering. Whether they know it or not, they're suffering. Like animals, they're suffering. There are a lot of things they cannot say, and there are a lot of things they don't even have that even the body doesn't have the capacity to do what humans can do. So that in itself is a suffering. And of course, spirit realm, well, you reincarnate in the spirit realm. Yes, you reincarnate in the spirit realm. So that is why a lot of times when I meet people and when I see that their character reminds me of a spirit, because they're always very self-centered, and it's very depressing, and it's always about me, and for some reason I get a very strong feeling that it reminds me of spirits that I encounter. And I asked Rinpoche, whether or not my feeling is correct. And Rinpoche said correct. Because if this person does not transform and get out of that mode of thinking, most likely when the person passes away, this person will be reborn in the spirit realm. Yeah. So there are people whom I meet who give me that very strong feeling, because they remind me of that, of spirits. So when you see spirits, you actually feel the loneliness, you feel the depression, and for some who are very aggressive and want to hurt you, you actually feel that aggression in them, that anger that is like out of control, and they just want to disturb you and hurt you and all that. You feel it in your gut. It doesn't come from here. The feeling comes from here, from your heart chakra area. And it's just that knowing. It's just that knowing. Yeah? So, where was I?
The Taoist mediums.
Yeah, the Taoist. I lost track.
We were talking about how in Buddhism we study the 6 realms.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so coming back. Sorry, because I was too engrossed with... I was just too engrossed, because I remember vividly when I met the first person that reminded me of a spirit, and I was so worried for that person, so worried that, just so worried. Yeah, really, poor thing. So yes, so oracles definitely they do take trance of. So whether or not they are deities, I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. So
2 more questions.
let me see.
You have one from Sophie.
So anyway, before I forget, don't ask for 4Ds like lottery from these deities. Don't, because why? Let me explain. Because they are not enlightened. So because they're not enlightened, they will always try. They're also very spiritual. They are also trying to get enlightened. They are also doing all what holy beings do, just like us. So out of compassion, they give us a 4D. But you see, whether or not we have the karma to get the 4D, they may not have that clairvoyance to see it. They don't. because deities that are not enlightened don't see all the way to the time that we become enlightened. They have their clairvoyance is very limited, very, very limited. So they may point us towards a direction that leads us further to hell, or to generating more negative karma. See, they don't have that clairvoyance to see all the way. So with all the good intentions, it may backfire for us. That's where I'm coming from. They may backfire from us. That's why never ever ask for favors in these from unenlightened beings. Never do that. Never. If you want to make it in life, there's no shortcut. Do it the hard way. Do it the hard way. Okay? And put in all the effort to get what you want to get. And if you don't have the karma to get it, you don't have the karma to get it. You will know, because once you've gone 100%, not that you don't have the connections, not that you don't have the wisdom and knowledge. It's just that you don't have the karma. Accept that. Because life is more, it's a lot more than what about your acquisitions. Life is a lot more than just your acquisitions. Yeah. So don't go to mediums. Don't go to all this these oracles where where you actually connect to unenlightened beings. Don't. It's very, very dangerous. Okay. Time is almost up, so I'm going to wrap up soon. Jerry asks, how do you tell if they are different because they are all in black silhouette? Okay, I've already said that. I've already answered that. And Sophie, did you ever find out what the angels and fairies wanted with you? No, I never, because I was just looking at them and they looked at me, and then after that they just left. Nothing. I guess they just want to say hi. That was about it. What about Nagas? Ron asks, have you seen Nagas before? Because we do Naga pujas and all. How do they look like? Good question. I have personally not visually seen them, but I have felt them before. I have. And I have seen them in my mind before, because where I'm staying here, this room, this building here, used to be a residence of my teacher, Tem Rinpoche. So I stay in one room and he stays in the other, and all of us take up, one room, and some of us share. So there was an occasion I remember many years ago, and every time I come into the house, I have this impression, that there's a snake somewhere. And I could see a black snake, like a cobra, somewhere. And I'll come into my room, I'll look under my bed, I'll look under. It's like I'm paranoid. And when I go into my bathroom, before I even sit on the toilet seat, I'll look in, because I sense very strongly a snake. And I couldn't see where it is, but I feel it. And I keep seeing it in my mind. So one day, I remember when Rinpoche called me into his room, and we were talking and talking and talking. And then Rinpoche said that one of our staff didn't make Naga offerings, because Rinpoche has an altar for the Nagas to actually appease them. And I think he went back to Nepal or something like that, or he forgot. And and Rinpoche said that because he forgot, for that 1 week, wherever Rinpoche went, Rinpoche would always look under, and made everyone, all his students, look under the furniture and all that. And so you see, it's like, it's so strange. And I asked Rinpoche, when was that? And it was exactly the same week that I felt. I said, me too, Rinpoche. And Rinpoche went on and on. It was like almost like a matter of fact. It's like, yeah, tell me about it. And so-and-so forgot. Can you imagine? Forgot to make offerings. I was like, oh, really? Because I thought I was just, thinking too much. You see, I always question myself. I am quite cynical with what I sense too. I question what I sense. I say, oh, okay. And I say, okay, so I guess I'm not imagining it. So now every time when I enter a building, and for whatever reason, it's not like I have this, even though I have a phobia with snakes, I don't like snakes, it just gives me the creeps. Yes, I will work on that. But every time I notice that when I walk into a building and I have this sense that, I'm looking around, that there's a snake around, yes, that's where the designated person in Kechara has not made offerings to the Nagas or didn't make the right offerings. It's always like that. There are a few people in Kechara that has that sense as well, not just me. Yeah.
Last question from
LC Toy. Oh wait, David says. Oh, Pastor David says you're lucky because I heard that some fairies are not as pretty as you had described. Well, I guess it's my karma to be able to meet pretty fairies and pretty angels, right? That's all I can explain. It's my karma. Batok Choco, I hear something in the bathroom. Your bathroom or my bathroom? Because I am playing some, what do you call it? What is it? Some creepy music behind me just to give it that spookiness. Elsie asks, would a spirit attach to a... Hey, hi Audrey, my cousin. Hi Audrey, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, she loves, both of us used to love listening to ghost stories from our aunts. Would a spirit attach to a human? Yes, definitely. A spirit would latch on to you and follow you, and also they can enter you. Okay? Which reminds me, but very quickly before I wrap up, there is a spirit I remember before I met Rinpoche. I'll wake up and the spirit will be right in front of me, the head, and it will actually suck. I can actually see white smoke coming out from my mouth, and it would suck. And the Chinese believe that there are certain spirits that actually suck the energy from you. And I remember that every time when I have that experience, I will wake up in the morning and I'm dead tired, like as though I have not slept all night and I've like run a marathon. See, at that time I've not met Rinpoche, so I didn't know what to do. So what I did was I just used my hand and just punch it, and it'll go away. Yeah, and I would like curse at it for sucking the energy out of me. Yeah, so it can drain your energy. There are certain spirits that are like that. All right? Christina says 2 hours will be ideal. Well, we have to wake up tomorrow morning to do the morning meditation, Christina. Don't forget that. Yes, I know. I'd love to go on, but I do have to wrap up already. Again, like I say, get me 1,000 likes on my video, and then I'll request my producer to let me do one more night. So 2 nights a week, or even 3, up to you guys. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a lot more stories to tell you all, and I'll see you again next Thursday, 10 p.m. Malaysian time. Okay? Stay home and stay terrified. Bye.